You don't think I've forgotten about you, do you? Of course not. I've been having quite a bit of my own private issues that I've been dealing with. Most not so pleasant. Having to find a new place to live. Getting ready to pack and move. That's a whole nother issue, and this is not the place nor the time to discuss that. However, what I would like to discuss is false association or false blaming. Now, this is not something that I've studied. This is something that I've experienced. And through mutual conversation, I found a great many others have experienced also. So I'm kind of wondering what your thoughts are on this, and have you had any experience on this as well? And what I mean about this is false self-blaming is I could read a story, watch a news report about something that has absolutely nothing to do with me. And yet, I will go back and find something from my past that I've done wrong and blame myself for it. And the guilt and the shame is pounded into me. This, to me, is really a clear indication of narcissistic abuse. Whereas I can see something that's a negative report or a negative story and associate that with something that I have done in my past that has no relationship to that story. But I will automatically begin blaming myself. Possibly it's something that I could have done better. Possibly it's a mistake I made. Possibly it's something that I self-sabotaged myself with. But I will always go back and blame myself. And the reason is becoming so clear to me, and I'm becoming more healthy about it, because I'm identifying with it. And I'm identifying with you. That it's no matter how well I do, no matter how much positive I have, or how many good qualities I have, and I have such good qualities, no matter how abundant my positives are, I will still always go back, somehow find a negative, and feel guilty and shameful for that. And the reason is, and I can associate this, the reason is quite clearly, is because I have always, since the day I can remember, I have always been told I was no good, I did bad, I was worthless. I always had that message pounded into me. And at the same time, I could tell you that I've never, not one time can I remember, not once, a positive thought. I cannot remember one time of being told, you did good. Not one time can I remember being told, I'm proud of you. What I do remember is physical abuse while being emotionally abused at the same time. I remember quite a bit of sexual abuse, but the messages were not being broadcast at the time. That was worthless. The messages during sexual abuse were being pounded into me that I was shameful, that this was my fault. So if I go back and I really study, I can see so clearly that this was a part of my makeup as my mind was still formulating at a very vulnerable age. I think, if I remember correctly, our minds are maturing, if you will, to about 19 or 20 years old. And those years between birth and 20 years old are very formidable, very impressionable. And it's obvious to me that if I was pounded into shame, if I was pounded into being told I was worthless and I was a rotten little bastard, I was a sick little bastard, if that was a constant message to me at such an early age, it's no wonder that when I see anything else, it hits me. And here's another thing. I still, to this day, have an overwhelming feeling that I do not deserve happiness, that I do not deserve anything good to come to me. I still feel like that to this day. However, here's the catch. I know where it comes from. One other quick thing. It's still, as much as I have learned and as much as I studied narcissistic abuse, it still blows my mind that these abusers have zero feeling. They are freaking robots. They have zero, not a single feeling. That means they cannot feel happy. That means they cannot feel sadness. They have no empathy. And it blows me away that these people who know, and believe me, they know that they have abused, that they have sexually abused, that in more cases, in a lot of cases, they've been part of sexual abuse to a number of their children. And they can sit back and live their life with not a feeling or a care in the world, at the same time blaming you. Isn't that amazing? A lot of you have gone no contact. Please, for your own sake of mind, if you've identified this person as a true narcissist, stay no contact. They do not get better as age goes by. They get a lot worse. I have said this so many times. They become worse. The monsters get worse. The monsters grow more hostile. The monsters grow more dangerous. Don't fall for the traps. And when you start feeling those pangs of guilt and shame, identify where they're coming from. Remember, these were messages that were pounded into you, emotionally, physically, or sexually. Identify them for what they really are. And I hope And I feel that's the way, step by step, that we can work towards better mental health. I'm wishing you such peace, and try to always remember, if you're the victim of a narcissist, it is not your fault. Thank you.